Reeves Immigration Law Group now brings you immigration law on your side.
All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Immigration Law on your side right here at PHLV Radio. As usual, we're going to have a hot topic tonight on Immigration Law on your side. Actually, it's getting hotter and hotter kasi mga kaibigan, this might affect millions, especially non-U.S. citizens living here in the United States. Mga kababayan, the Department of Homeland Security has just rolled out a new alien registration requirement under a recent executive order from the President. Well, to help us break down this new alien registration requirement, kasama naman po natin ngayon ang ating immigration expert, si Attorney Flomy Diza, live from San Francisco, California. Hatid sa atin ang Reeves Immigration Law Group. Magandang gabi po sa iyo, Attorney Diza.
Magandang gabi, Kuya Johan, at sa lahat ng viewers and listeners ng PHLV Radio dito man sa US o nasaan po kayo. Magandang hapon, magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. At very important and timely ang ating pag-usapan ngayon. It's called the Alien Registration Requirement. You know, are you required to register? Marami na sa mga kababayan natin ang nagtatanong at nagtumatawag kung sila ba ay required mag-register, Kuya Johan, dahil ito'y you're giving them information to the US government, and basically as a lawyer, we cannot advise against violating, you know, or against not to register if you are required to, kasi we don't want to advise na you're to violate any federal law. So very timely po to, at tingnan natin kung kayo po ay required na mag-register po dito sa bagong policy ng Trump administration.
That's right. Attorney, over the course of many years with immigration law on your side, we've talked about certain registrations, merong A number, merong kung ano-ano pa, but this one is brand new, mga kababayan. Alien registration requirement or registration. Attorney, ano po ba itong alien registration requirement na ito?
Yes, as you mentioned kanina, Kuya Johan, when you apply for a certain benefits in the U.S., like you apply for an adjustment of status or green card application or asylum application or anything that has to do with an immigration benefit, the Homeland Security or even the Department of State will assign you an alien number. The alien number is like a social security that is very unique, that applies only to you, where you can search your name on the system, or if government officials will search you on the system. Now, this new policy requires non-citizen, Kuya Johan, over 14 years old to register, to provide their personal information, their addresses, and they're required to do a biometrics information or fingerprints. So those that are not in the system are required to register under this program, where they can find it through the USCIS website.
So, Attorney, sa dami-dami ng mga forms that we actually fill out when we apply for certain immigration benefits, like what you said a while ago, meron ng A number. With this new registration requirement, who is already registered in the system? Or kailangan pa bang lahat talaga? This is a brand new one, kumbaga from scratch.
This is a new policy, Kuya Johan, as we probably will let everyone know that this policy has been implemented since President Trump became the president in January, and as early as February, the Homeland Security has rolled out this policy, but many immigration advocates bring this to court, and only recently last week, the district court in Columbia already said that that the government has the right to implement. In other words, the people who brought this lawsuit have no standing. So in other words, this policy should be implemented already. So marami sa mga kababayan natin ang nagtatanong kung sila ba ay exempted or they are still required, despite the fact that they already have status or been here in the US for a very, very long time. Now, may mga list of non-citizens that are not required to register. So isa-isa natin, Kuya Johan. So matutuwa marami sa mga kababayan natin, right, na hindi sila required pala, di ba? So ang unang-una dyan ay lawful permanent residents. Ibig sabihin yan, yung mga green card holders, right? O yung mga dumating dito from the Philippines because they were petitioned by their family or employment or employers rather, and they were assigned a green card or they were given a green card already. So you are no longer required to register. So ang kailangan lang po ninyong alamin po is that when you go out, and go other places or go outside the US, etc., you need to bring a copy of that green card para po kung kayo po ay tanungin, di ba? Kasi one of the requirements later on, Kuya Johan, is once you register and fingerprinted, issue ang kanila ng parang card, di ba? Para if you are being asked, meron kang ipapakita. So usually ang papakita mo dyan are yung green card, proof that you are a green card holder, which is your green card, basically. Now, pangalawa, Kuya Johan, those aliens paroled into the U.S., right? Even a period, the parole has expired. So, humanitarian parole, World War II veteran parole, or even those during Biden's term where they were seeking asylum at the border, so instead of being sent to immigration court, they were paroled in the U.S. They are still considered not required to register. And the purpose of this, Kuya Johan, is to probably for the Homeland Security to find out how many people here are undocumented, out of status. Kasi ito meron ka ng records, so there's no point, there's no use of registration if the government has already your information, basically. Ang maganda dito, Kuya Johan, sa mga kababayan natin ay yung mga tourist visa, right? Yung mga na-issue ng I-94, kagaya ng tourist visa, H-1B, H-2B, J-1, even the I-95, which we considered as crewman, once you have issued those I-94 and I-95, even it's already expired, right, you are not required to register. In fact, majority of my clients are from the Philippines, right? Either they have a pending application or they're here TNT or out of status o walang nakapending na application. They are not required to register because the policy is clear that says those were issued the I-94. So even if the I-94 or the period of admission has already expired. So the purpose, again, of this one is for the immigration to have your records. Now, although there's a debate or an argument that if you were issued an I-94 a long time ago na hindi kayo fingerprints, di ba, or biometrics, you might be required. So it's really better for you, mga kababayan natin, to consult an immigration lawyer whether you are required to do this registration. Kasi ngayon, Kuya Johan, when you go to the interview, di ba, meron na yung VAC, yung sa Pilipinas, yung Visa Application Center where, before you will be interviewed by the consular officer, you are required to go there to have your biometrics and fingerprints taken. And even before the VAC was implemented, dun sa embassy mismo, they take your fingerprints and biometrics before the actual interview. So yung mga yun, and then also yung people who are already in proceedings, ibig sabihin may mga cases na sila, di ba, may mga immigration cases that are pending, and okay, the government has your records before the immigration judge and any kind of applications. Now, yung mga may work authorization, Kuya Johan, halimbawa kayo po ay nandito TNT for 10 years, and then you get married to a citizen, and of course, you're able to get the work authorization. So either or you have that work authorization already, basically before the work permit will be issued to you naman, diba? You're being required to do your biometrics and fingerprints. So the same thing with asylum applicants where you applied for work authorization after 150 days and the work permit has been issued to you. O kahit nakapending pa pero na biometrics ka na, this policy does not require you to register anymore. So ito yung mga some of the some of the people, even though they already overstayed their visa or they came here illegally, are not required to register.
How about those, attorney? We've recently had some visitors here who crossed the border from, say, from Canada. Are they required to register?
If they were issued the I-94, Kuya Johan, they're not, because the government has already the system. And if you remember before, yung bago kayo dumating sa port of entry nyo, sa destination ninyo, we fill out a form, di ba? And then also where you stayed, where you live, di ba? And the information that where you're going, etc. So the government has already that information. With I-94 on the system, right? Government has already your information. So Canadians, if they tend to stay, Canadian citizen rather, if they stay here for more than 30 days, then they are required to register. So yung mga kababayan natin na nasa tourist visa na nag-expire, as I've been keep mentioning, they are not required to register even if the I-94 already expired. Pero nga ang kailangan natin tignan din at paghandaan ay yung carrying that I-94 with you, di ba? We don't want them to self-incriminate then kasi even if you are not required to register, you are required to carry either the registration or those I-94 or I-95. And if immigration, for whatever reason, you're being confronted by ICE agents at ipakita yung I-94 that already expired, that 10 years ago, 5 years ago, a year ago, you're still subject to deportation. So it doesn't mean that you are exempted from registration, then you are not subject to scrutiny from the immigration officers.
Ayun, okay. Attorney, nagtatanong ang mga kababayan natin with many immigration benefits or different kinds of visas na pumapasok dito sa US. There must be some of those that are exempted from this. Meron po bang mga exemptions ito, Attorney?
Yeah, magandang katanungan yung Kuya Johan. Ang mga exempted, they are not required, are people who are in the diplomatic corps, right? Yung mga taga-consulate natin, kababayan natin, kaibigan natin from the Philippine consulate, saan man kayo, yeah, you are exempted from the registration. Basically, you are representing your home country and you are an extension of your home country as well. So you are not subject to biometrics and fingerprints. Ito yung mga A visa or diplomatic visa holders. Now, yung mga G visa, Kuya Johan, yung alphabet soup, to remind our kababayan, ito yung mga people working mga international organizations like the World Health Center organization, World Health Organizations, etc., UNESCO. If you are issued a G visa, you are not required to register. And then also, as we mentioned kanina, yung mga Canadians who are staying here for less than 30 days, you are not required to register then. So, American Indians, of course, hindi rin sila required to register in the United States. So, yun yung mga exempted, Kuya Johan. Ang mga nire-require basically, Kuya Johan, ay yung mga entered without inspection. Right? Mostly sa mga kababayan natin from the southern border who cross the border illegally or without, we call it iwi, or entered without inspection. And that's the purpose of this one kasi majority of the population ng mga undocumented or mga walang status dito are people who cross the border. Diba? So it's like comprises around 80 to 90% yung mga undocumented na sinasabi. Ang mga Filipino kasi in other parts of the world, may mga visa yan. Although may mga kababayan din natin na dumadaan through Mexico or Canada na walang inspection, and that's a different story, and you're required to register. So, yun ang mga requirements, Kuya Johan. Ito yung mga exempted at sa mga required to register. Now, yung mga client ay mga Filipino na nag-enter without inspection, like yung nabanggit natin kanina through Mexico, or people who got smuggled at the airport. Kumbaga, alam mo naman, noong 1990s, may mga naglalakad ng mga visa, and they are in cahoots or connivance with some people, scrupulous people at the airport, where sinusundo lang sila, and then they got here to the US without inspection. They are required to register. Now, sa mga kababayan natin, as we mentioned kanina, na even if you are issued an I-94 or I-95, but you were not previously fingerprinted, or your biometrics were not taken, you might want to consult an immigration lawyer on whether you are going to register or not.
Attorney, for those who are required, before I ask you about the process, I'm sure masalimuot ito and no one knows really kung paano ito because it's really very new. Is there a cost associated with the registration? May bayad po ba ito, Attorney?
From my understanding, and recently, Kuya Johan, they were saying there was $30, but as of now, we don't see any fees. It's better to check once you register if you apply one. My understanding, Kuya Johan, wala itong bayad. You just need to log into your account or create an account with the Homeland Security and complete that information and submit it.
Mm-hmm. Attorney, so walk us through the process of the registration. Can this be, like with many things today, can this be done online, Attorney? Or is this a process na kailangan pang may mga forms that you have to mail? How does this process go, Attorney?
The good thing about this is not a new thing, Kuya Johan. In fact, Homeland Security or USCIS has already rolled yung online application, di ba?
Yeah.
Many years ago. And we've been using that as immigration lawyers. Meron tayong account dyan and you can check the status. It's just a lot easier and faster to save papers, etc. And also, you can easily check the updates on your application. Even if you hire an attorney, they also send you, once you apply for certain benefits, kuya Johan, bibigyan ka ng online account number where you can create an account number. They provide you that account information, account number, so that you can log in, create your parang social media where you have to create your username, password, etc. to get through the system and check the status of your case, right? It's many of our clients are using that kasi nauuna pa yung notices na padadala sa online, kasi pag may online account ka, nandun yung information mo, either pag mayroong update, di ba, ini-email ka na kaagad, or merong notice doon sa account mo that says, or you have message, or you have an email or something, or there's an update, well, you can easily check. So yung mga notices for biometrics or appointment notices were already sent in advance before we actually receive the paper copy. So this is not new. Ganoon din sa registration. But before you register, mga kababayan natin, I strongly recommend you to consult a lawyer, right? As I mentioned a while ago, registration, you are putting yourself, your information, background information, personal information at the disposal ng Homeland Security, right? And as we mentioned before, we cannot advise you that don't do it. We are not going to say that, but you should know the consequence. Consequence would be, they have your information, right?
Yeah.
But there's also an adverse consequence for not registering. Masaklap na pag-uusapan natin mamaya. But for you to register, you have to have open a USCIS account, as we mentioned kanina, right? Where you have to have your password, your username, etc. And then fill out the information. May tinatawag na form G325R. Ito lang yung parang basic information. What's your name, your address, your country of birth, etc. Right? You have to fill that out. And then review nyo kung tama yon. And then you have to submit it with USCIS online. You don't have to do a paper submission. And then once you complete that information, you have to attend an appointment, right? Biometrics appointment, collection, right? And then after that, you receive your registration documentation. Essentially, para kang nag-apply din ng work authorization, right? For work authorization online, you do it online, you pay kung mayroong corresponding fees, attend the biometrics, and you get the work authorization. Yun ang proof that you applied and you got approved. Now, for this alien registration requirement, bibigyan ka ng registration, but if you're going to look at it, Kuya Johan, what's the purpose, right? I mean, people who have a pending application, to be honest, I mean, it's safe kahit overstay ka na kasi safe ka na eh, di ba? Meron ka ng asawa, meron ka ng work permit. So even if the government has your information, unless you commit a heinous or serious crimes, or you have had a serious criminal conviction in the past, and despite that, hindi mo alam, nag-file ka ng nag-adjustment, di ba, na hindi mo alam ang immigration consequence, then they can go after you. The same thing here. That's why giving your personal and background information with this registration, although it's a requirement, you should know the consequence. So yun po ang process. Once you get that registration, you have to carry it with you all the time, so that once you are confronted, your status, you have something to show with the immigration agents or immigration officers.
Talking about carrying it with you, Attorney, does this come in a card or something that you can just print from your account?
Yeah, you can print it. They will send it out to you. So parang siguro yung para siyang work authorization, where you can either carry it or make it copy. A copy should be fine, because that's what I also advise clients traveling within the US lang, na hindi mo kailangan yung green card mo, you have to carry it with you kasi baka mawala. So a copy should be fine carrying with you wherever you go out and travel.
Attorney, for those who are required and for some reason, for one reason or another, hindi sila nag-register, if they do not register, what is the penalty? Is there a penalty? Do you put yourself in an immigration hole? May hirapan ka pang attorney i-explain ito kung bakit hindi ka nag-register? What are the penalties, attorney, pagka hindi ka nag-register?
Yes, that's why Kuya Johan, that the government is very specific when it comes to not registering, right? They are saying that the registration and fingerprinting requirements will be subject to either fine of up to $5,000 or imprisonment up to 6 months, and or both, and also has be considered as a criminal offense, and also there is an immigration consequence. So, yun ang kailangang tandaan natin. Gaya parang if you do it, you're doomed, right? If you don't do it, you're in trouble. So, ang hirap, anong gagawin mo? Kasi it's kind of like incriminating yourself, especially is number one, you are out of status, wala kang nakapending na application. But if you don't do it, there's that threat of penalties and imprisonment. So, again, as a lawyer, we're not going to advise against it. I don't also comfortable saying that, again, whether it's up to you, nasa inyo po yan, ibabalik natin sa inyo yan, as long as you know the consequences, you have to weigh in which works well with you, and then you have to make that decision, a very important decision in your life. I wish that there are more lawsuits coming in to question the validity of this one, but there's already, as I mentioned, Karina, a decision that says the government, the court has given signal to the government that they can already implement effective April 11, 4 days ago.
Wow. Attorney, how about for those minors who are required to register and they fail to register? Who's liable for this? Yung parents ba, attorney? Habulin nila?
Yes, parents are, anyone below 14, they are exempted, but 14 and above, they are required to register through their parents, and if parents fail to comply, then they would be in trouble.
And related to that, attorney, yung mga hindi nagdala ng, driver's license, no? Nag-drive ka, hindi mo dala yung driver's license mo. And this one, for some reason, you get in contact with ICE and then hindi mo dala, but you registered, hindi mo dala yung copy. Would you be able to just say, hey, I'm registered, look it up online, or is there a penalty for that, for not carrying the documentation?
That is a good point, Kuya Johan. If you apply strictly what the law says, you need to carry, right, at least a copy. If you don't want to carry the original, make sure that you have a copy of that one, because there's also a corresponding penalty for not carrying it with you. The registration, the same thing is 5,000, up to 5,000 rather, penalty, and an imprisonment of not more than 30 days. It could be either a civil penalty, criminal penalty, and might also affect your immigration if you have a pending application with immigration.
Wow. Oh, like what we always say, mga kababayan, napakaraming mga bagong issues na dapat mapag-usapan regarding immigration. And just recently, ito na naman bago, by way and by virtue of an executive order, may bagong alien registration requirement. At kung late po kayo at you're just joining us today, you could just come back and view the episode on our podcasts or here at PHLV para maintindihan natin kung ano itong alien registration requirement. I'm sure our kababayans, marami pa silang mga tanong, attorney. If they do have questions about this and they're not sure if they are required, and some of them have called the radio station and even calling the lawyer. Sometimes natatakot sila baka daw mabisto or something like that. What can we tell those kababayan natin or those who are in this situation? What is your advice, attorney?
Marami sa mga kababayan natin, Kuya Johan, especially at this time, I can't believe during the last 20 years that I've been practicing as immigration lawyer in the U.S., this kind of a different time where people are really scared and uncertain, and one of them is this alien registration requirement. Again, so we strongly advise mga kababayan natin to talk to an immigration lawyer and navigate and discuss with you your other options that you have. That's why we keep on repeating during Biden time that if you have this relief, do it now, do it now, do it now, diba? So even filing for simple, becoming a U.S. citizen, you can be a dual citizen if you want anyway. So do it now until para maiwasan natin sa mga issues na ganito, especially at this time. Hindi lang itong alien registration requirement ang problema, Kuya Johan. There's also this looming executive order, or rather immigration policy, where the Homeland Security is coordinating with the IRS, tax season ngayon, di ba?
Yeah.
So, kapafile lang natin ng tax na April 15, but we encourage kababayan natin who are out of status or undocumented to file their taxes, kasi it's one of the good moral character that we show to the government, if they in the future apply for adjustment of status, right? To you're showing that you are working and hindi ka pabigat sa gobyerno and you are filing your taxes, etc. But now there is this news where Homeland Security are getting information from Homeland Security, right? Yung may mga TIN lang. So how could that happening? That we encourage kababayan to file taxes, and now this will be used against them. But this will be subject to another conversation another episode on our program PHLV Radio. Ang dami mga issues ngayon, Kuya Johan, that we almost cannot keep up. Everything like that IRS Homeland Security agreement. There's also this revocation of student visa. I know this is very timely. Many students are already the student visas have been revoked because of simple criminal records or participating in a peaceful assembly. So those are the things that really bothers our kababayan natin. Hindi lang yung enforcement, hindi lang yung mga may serious criminal records. And there's another news that we heard, and we always got calls on our U.S. citizens are being deported. So those things are really scary. Not just immigrants, not just naturalized U.S. citizen. Kasama dyan ang mga naturalized U.S. citizen, but this could be subject of another discussion, and these are really evolving and important topics that you need to discuss it, sit down with your immigration lawyer so that you have a peace of mind and make sure that you are navigating your immigration process correctly with the help of immigration attorney. We at Reeves Immigration Law Group, Kuya Johan, we've been here rendering immigration service sa mga kababayan natin, mga Filipinos and other nationalities. We've been here since 1980s, so more than 40 years na kami. All the immigration lawyers here are immigration law specialists, yung mga partners, and of course we have offices in the Northern California, San Francisco, Concord, Los Angeles, even in China and Makati. But remember mga kababayan, ang immigration ay federal practice. So saan man po kayo, nasa East Coast, sa West Coast, sa Midwest, etc., Northeast, we offer immigration services all throughout the U.S., including the territories and U.S. embassies worldwide.
Nako, maraming salamat, Attorney Diza, for the wealth of information that once again our audience picked up from this episode. But before I let you go, Attorney, I know you are a very, very busy supporter of our kababayans, and we see you at the consulate. Baka, Attorney, meron kayong mga announcements para makatulong sa ating mga kababayan.
Yes, every first Friday of the month sa Philippine Consulate General in San Francisco, we render free legal consultation with the Integrated Bar of the Philippines. Meron din tayong free services or assistance, Kuya Johan, dyan sa Las Vegas, yung Asian Community Development Council, where I volunteer, every Friday, or not every Friday, but every time my schedule is free. Mm-hmm. I think usually Fridays, Monday, or Saturday, depende sa schedule ng appointment natin. I participate by Zoom, and sometimes I go there in person. So tignan po ninyo ang website at schedule ng Asian Community Development Council kung kailan po ang kanilang susunod na free consultation or free legal services. Maraming salamat ulit Kuya Johan at nandito palagi tayo. You just send us a message or email and like and follow our Facebook pages para sa US immigration updates. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat, Attorney Flomy Diza, our immigration expert. Galing po dyan sa San Francisco, California. And this program is proudly sponsored by Reeves Immigration Law Group. Kita nyo sa screen ang contact information ng ating mga kaibigan from Reeves Immigration. Again, Attorney, maraming salamat. And we will send to you comments and questions from our kababayan. And if you just watched this episode, this studio where I am at right now is in the brand new Filipino town, Las Vegas. Kahapon lamang mga kabigan ay inaprubahan ng ating mga Clark County Commissioners, Attorney, na itong lugar na ito where PHLV is now officially designated as Filipino Town, Las Vegas. Ayan.
Congratulations, well-deserving Kuya Johan. And I know you're one of the pioneers and we're so glad and happy that we have a Filipino town there in Las Vegas.
Maraming salamat and we can't wait to have you here again, Attorney, dito sa Filipino Town, Las Vegas. Galing po sa Las Vegas, well, sa bagong Filipino Town, Las Vegas, ito po si Kuya Yo ng PHLV Radio, another immigration law on your side, presented to you by Reeves Immigration Law Group. We will see you again next time.
Reeves Immigration Law Group has just brought you Immigration Law on Your Side. Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Pacific on PHLV Radio.